Good morning. It's Erica here for Me Too Paper Crafts, and it's a brilliantly sunny day this morning on the west coast of Canada. Oh my gosh, we have really been struggling with kind of drab, rainy, overcast, yucky weather. And we've had a few sunny days, I won't lie. We're not all doom and gloom, but it's starting to get nicer and a little bit warmer. And as I peer out my windows here into my back garden, my husband was busy yesterday putting up all of the bird houses that he's made in the last year, kind of a transition into retirement and finding projects to do. So he's been making these beautiful bird houses and painting them all bright colors, and some are on the sides of trees. One is sitting on this beautiful ladder that I painted this lavender color, and he's got a cluster of birdhouses at the end of the garden. Just so much fun. So I love looking out the window here in my craft room, and I'm so happy you're here with me. Today I'm pretty excited. I am bringing back my Fun Fold Fridays. I did these years ago and they were quite successful. I did a different Fun Fold every week using different products from our Stampin' Up! Family. And it was lots of fun. So welcome. And I was talking about this on one of my other Facebook Lives, saying that I was playing around with making bookmark cards. I have a few friends who are avid readers, and how nice is it to give them a birthday card that includes a bookmark? And you could also incorporate a little pocket inside to put a gift card in. So if you wanted to send them off to one of their favorite bookstores, or even it could be one of their favorite bookstores. I don't know what else I was trying to say. Then you could include a little gift card in there, and then they have this bookmark that they can pull out of the card and they can use it. So lots of fun. And we had a stamp set a year or two ago, and I'm just going to flip to another screen here so I can tell you what the name of it was, but it was such a fun stamp set. It was called the Bird's Eye View stamp set. Bird's Eye View stamp set. And so I made some cards, and I played with two different templates. Number one is I found what's her name? Connie, can't think of her last name all of a sudden, but she's Simply Simple Stamping, and she has wonderful card templates there. And so I copied her exact cards, where she made two cards in one. I'll show these to you. I'll turn the camera down so you can see them. So you basically take two different colored pieces of cardstock that coordinate with your designer series paper, and you make this bookmark card. So the card we're doing today is very similar to this, maybe a little bit different measurements. I like to always try different templates. And the one before Connie, I think it was Connie Smith, before her card, I found another template. It was actually my own creation, based on somebody else, but I changed up the measurements, and it actually creates a sleeve to put the bookmark in, and then you glue the sleeve onto the front of the card. Well, that's just way too much work, and I'll show you the difference anyway. And so today's card is going to be really, really simple. So without further ado, welcome Sharon. Good morning. I will turn my camera down so that you can see my desktop here. Here we go. Oh, and sorry, I'm drinking my coffee still. Thank you, Sharon, for sharing my video. I really appreciate that. How are you doing? Okay, so to start off with, this is Simply Simple Stamping. This was her card idea, and so she actually suggested using, this is a retired designer series paper, but she said to pick a designer series paper and pick two colors from it. So I picked out, let's just hide this bright glare here. I chose to do this paper here, and I picked out the Lemon Lime Twist, and I picked out Fresh Freesia, and I made these two cards. So this is how the card works. It's basically opens up. So here's your basic card, okay? And then on the front, you actually your card base starts out to be pretty long, and then you flip over this side to create the bookmark, and you create a small, you just simply fold it over and then glue it. Okay, so that was that. And then I made 2 of these, the same thing. Okay, so you can pull out your bookmark. And these were handmade bookmarks. So I used some punches to create this decorative edge. But we also have, which are retired now, but we have, remember the tailored tags dies? We had 2 sets of edges for the dies. I think I brought them out to show you, but they're retired now. So sadly you can't get them anymore, but this is what they looked like. So you had different edge on each of them and then different sizes. So you can also use these as well, which I did in this other set of cards. Let me show you these. So that was lots of fun with that beautiful owl set. So there's one idea. If you have that set, then you can make bookmark cards. These cards, and I got really excited. I made 3 of them. I used our 6x6 designer series paper. You know, that comes in 4 of our color families. So I decided to use these colors. And so this design is a little bit different. This is an actual pocket, a sleeve that you create separate from the card. And then you create a normal sized card, put some designer series paper on the back, and then stick this, glue this right on top. Makes it a little bit thicker kind of a card, and it's a lot more work. But this is what the tailored tags look like. They've got stitching around the edge and this beautiful decorative edge. So if you've got those as well, you can, if you want to make these bookmark cards, pull out all of this old stock and then go to town and have some fun. So this was this card, okay, and I made 3 of those. And the stamp set I used for that, of course, is a current stamp set from the spring catalog. I'm not sure if it's going to be carrying, I think it's in the online store for the books, it's called. And it comes with a set of dies as well, as you can see in here. Some, not very many dies, but a few little dies here. So this is the stamp set that I used for this. I'm hoping this is still available. If not, they always come out with some kind of a book theme stamp set every now and then, so you can watch for that. Okay, so we're going to do yet a 3rd design for a bookmark card. Okay, and this one I think is really, really simple as well. Because if you want to make a few, you want to make it as simple as possible. All right, so today I'm going to use this Shy Shamrock cardstock. It's one of our new in colors. And I've picked out some blends because we're going to color the books. So I brought out Daffodil Delight, the Shy Shamrock, and I pulled out Petunia Pop. I thought those 3 colors would be really pretty together. Okay, thanks, Sharon. Okay, so then we're going to, we might be able to still use these, or we can hand cut one. I think we're going to hand cut one just to show you what the dimensions are in case you don't have those dies. All right, so the first thing you need to do is you grab a piece of cardstock and grab your trimmer, okay? And we are going to cut this down to 5.5 because that is the height of our card is typically 4.25 by 5.5. So we're going to cut this at 5.5 because we need an 11-inch piece of paper. Okay, so 5.5 by 11 is what you're going to start off with. So 5.5 by 11. And then you use this extra piece to create the other pieces you need for the card. Okay. All right. So once you've done that, you are going to do some scoring now. And you're going to need to pull out your arm on your trimmer. All right, so we're going to start by scoring this at 4.25 inches, which is, you know, this typical score line for a centerfold. So 4.25. Okay, we're going to make sure I don't cut. So I'm going to move my cutting blade to the top out of the way. And I'm going to use my scoring blade. So you're going to score at 4.25. You're going to move it over to 8.5, 8.5. And you're going to score again. And then you're going to move to 10 3/4. 10 3/4. Okay, so at the very end, this is going to be your glue tab. It's just a 1/4 inch glue tab. Okay. Now, while we're here with this spare piece of paper, you are going to cut your bookmark. So we want 5 1/4 inches long. So we want it, 1/4 inch shorter than the height of the card. So I want 5 1/4 inches, 5 1/4 inches. Okay, we'll cut that by 2 inches. So this becomes your bookmark. Okay, by 2 inches. Okay. Now, you can either add some designer series paper to this bookmark to make it really simple, or you can put a piece of white in here, and I'll give you those measurements as we go. So let me just set aside all my other scraps I have here. All right, so we've got our bookmark ready. Okay. Now I decided to change things up a bit. I'm going to use a different stamp set today, and I'm still going to use the books, but I thought I would use the papers from this Full of Life 6x6 designer series paper, because this is retiring. I believe this whole set, Friends for Life, is on the last chance list, and I love this set because it's got this beautiful big friend cutout here, and it's got some nice foliage, and I just absolutely adore this heart here. So this is a beautiful stamp set, and it's got some hearts, and you can say, so excited for you, thank you for being a best friend. You can just do all kind of mix and match for your greetings. So it's a great set. Okay, so we're going to use paper from here. So let's pick out, oh look, let's just pick out this one right on the top. That is gorgeous. Okay, we might pick out another piece for the bookmark. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you about the folding now. So this bookmark here, you're going to fold over the score line. Actually, I'm going to turn it over and fold on the mountain. Actually, I have to do my folds to figure out where I'm going with this card. This is going to go on the front. So you're folding over this bookmark. So this needs to turn around. Let me fold it all and then I'll explain. Okay, so this is going to become our glue tab. So this is then going to fold over onto the front of the card. Okay, so that's how you want to orient it. Orient it with the glue tab on the right-hand side. Fold that over and score it. Then fold it over onto the front of your card. Then back this one up. Okay, so this now becomes our card base. Okay. All right, so the next thing we want to do is really, really simple. We are going to angle this up like this so that the bookmark slides into it. So you want to watch. Now, I played with this earlier, and I did my angle the wrong way. And I didn't mark it with a pencil, but this time I'm going to mark it with a pencil to make sure I do it right. I thought I had it right. When I put it on the trimmer, I had it backwards. I don't do any measuring. It really doesn't matter the angle here. You can do a short little angle if you want. You can do a longer angle. You could plan to have a longer angle, or I'm going to say a deeper angle, because you might want a little image at the top of your bookmark. That's totally up to you. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So you're basically going to just throw in a tick mark here, and you're going to cut from here to this top corner right here. Okay, so if you put the little marks in there, you won't screw up on your trimmer like I did before. So let's pull back the trimmer, and I'm going to then, this is my top corner, so I'm going to put this in my track. Now I notice I've got some bits of cardstock in my track, and that causes problems when cutting. So I just have an old toothbrush here. I find this the best, and I just drag my toothbrush down into that cutting track. just to get rid of those itty bits. Okay, so there's my tick mark here. So I'm going to line the score line into my track. Can you see that? Let me pull my camera down a little bit closer so you can see. Okay, so I've got the score mark in the track, and I'm going to find my other score mark here, and I'm going to line the two together. Okay, and I'm going to put my blade in the center, and I'm going to go out and then down. I don't want to come in from the corner just in case it mangles the paper. Okay, so I've cut off this angle here, and then when I flip my card back over, you've got your angle here. Okay, hopefully that was nice and simple for you. Okay, now I'm just going to take my eraser and erase my score marks. Okay, now before we glue this down, we want to put a piece of designer series paper on our front of our card. You might want this green showing here. Now I just want to check this paper. Does this have Shy Shamrock in it? Yes, it does. I could pick a nut. It doesn't look like there's Shy Shamrock actually in that pattern. So let's have a little flip through. Let me pull you up a bit more. Maybe I can pick up a different pattern. Ooh, this is really pretty with the polka dots. Ooh, this one's really pretty too. So let's pick out, so if you wanted to do some stamping directly on the cardstock, so let's think about our greeting here. I might just do a thinking of you. I'm hoping it fits. It's quite big actually, thinking of you. Happy birthday, best wishes. I should have planned the stamp set maybe a bit better. I'd love it if it said happy reading. How about just love you? I might just do love you on there. And I might stamp some hearts. Okay, so let's put some stamps ready to go. I have to kind of plan ahead before I start gluing. Let's get a block. We'll do a love you on here and some hearts. And if I want the books on here, then I think I'll do a piece of white on the bookmark itself, and then I'm going to stamp them. We have to have the books on there because they're too cool. So you can either do a stack of books, or you can do some books that kind of look like they're standing up on a bookshelf. So I might do the stack of books. Hopefully that will fit on a narrower piece. Should fit. Okay, so we've got those stamps ready. Oh, look at these reading glasses. These are so cute. So I think I'm going to add those little reading glasses. There's also a heart in this stamp set as well. Let's use these adorable reading glasses. We'll put them on top of the stack of books. So cute. Okay, so I want, yeah, I'm going to do white on here so I don't have to worry about DSP on the inside. Okay, I think we're good. My planning is happening here. All right, so I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4 as the layer that's going to go on top of my card. So I'm going to do 4 by 5 1/4. Oh, fun that I chose this paper because it kind of reminds me of a bookshelf. Kind of looks like a bookshelf. Okay, 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to glue this to the top of our card, or to the front of our card. And this has got a nice white border around it. No white border on this side, but that's okay because this is going to get folded over. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, that your paper doesn't exactly match. Okay, so let's pull out my tape runner here. All the papers in this stack are gorgeous. The colors are just vibrant, beautiful. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. So have you got any special plans for the weekend, Sharon? Easter is next weekend. I have to think about, we're going to do an Easter dinner, but I haven't decided what yet. I'll get some input from my daughter and her boyfriend. I hope he can't have hamburger though. That's not an Easter meal. He loves hamburgers. All right. So now we want a piece that for this, for the bookmark, I should say. Oh, actually, now that I say that, we need a piece to fit on the front of this. We could put a piece of designer series paper on the front of this as well. We could even do this one, and it's almost the right width. Look at that. That is just perfect. Okay. So I'm trying to remember the trick I just recently learned. If I pull this up higher and mark this. So what you want to do is you want to pull your paper when you're trying to fit a piece of paper on an angle. Hopefully I do this right. You pull this up higher from the bottom. Pull it up, say 1/4 of an inch, because you're going to leave maybe 1/8 of an inch at the bottom. So pull it up and then just mark. Whoops, I moved it. Just mark the angles on here. Okay. And I'm just going to bring out my guillotine trimmer. And I'm going to line up those two marks. And I'm going to trim. Now here's another tip for you. I find sometimes when I'm cutting, if my blade's not super sharp, I get little kind of ridges on my paper. So I just take my bone folder and I just drag over just to push those ridges down. And I'll erase that little bit of pencil mark on there. Okay. So now, hopefully I did that right. Now when you pull this, you pull it back down. Look at that, and then it fits. Really simple trick. So I'll repeat that one more time, okay? You pull the cardstock up about 1/4 of an inch at the bottom. Mark your angles with a pencil to match the angle of the base piece. Trim it, and then back it back down like that, okay? So we could even stamp the books on here, and they would have this fun, funky background, which we could color on maybe. Or I think maybe I'll leave this to the bookmark. We could put these beautiful hearts on here though. We could stamp some hearts on here. Oh, just noticed I didn't bring any ink pads with me here. So I might just do some of these on here. Okay, so bear with me. I'm just going to go get that ink color. Petunia, I'll bring out the Shy Shamrock as well. Look how gorgeous these two colors are together. I love them. So you're going to do some pet sitting this weekend. Who's pets? Okay, so let's do some hearts on here. So often when I think about decorating my envelope, I take an element from the card for the envelope. So I might just do those hearts on the envelope. Okay, so we can go ahead and glue this on here. So I'm going to use Tombow glue just in case I have to adjust it a little bit. So you want about 1/4 of an inch at the bottom. Just make sure it's straight. And there you go. Okay, so that's the front done. Now we can safely put a little bit of glue on this adhesive strip, and I would put a tiny bead of glue along the bottom. So a bead of glue there and a little bead of glue. Not that your bookmark will fall out. I wouldn't worry about that. You're just going to fold that over and then hold it. Okay. All right, let's work on the bookmark, and then we might do some more decorating on the front of the card, and then we need a piece in the back here. So I'm going to grab, I've got some 4 by 5 1/4 inch pieces of white already pre-cut, ready to go. So I think I'll just add some more of these. I'm going to pull in a scrap piece of paper here because I might want to stamp off the edge. I thought I would do maybe some of these pink hearts. Along the edge. I'm just going to sort of turn my stamp. Oops, I got that corner in the ink pad. I've got a glitch. Okay, we're going to flip over. Hang on, I need to get... Okay, make sure you keep baby wipes close by. You never know when you're going to need them. I always have them on the ready. Okay, so I made a boo-boo, so I'm going to flip my card over and start over. And let's just make sure I don't. Now I just noticed, if you don't get your stamps centered on your block, that will often cause you to sort of tip the stamp, the acrylic block, into the ink and then get, marks. So try and center your stamps. you want to kind of get the stamps weighted properly on the acrylic block. Oh, I just did another one too. Not doing very well today. There we go. Okay, just a few little hearts, and I'll do hearts on the envelope as well. All right, so I think we can glue this onto our inside of our card. All right, so there's the inside of our card. There's the front of our card so far. Okay, let's work on our bookmark. So this bookmark measures 2 inches by 5 1/4. Or no, 2 inches by, hang on, 2 inches by 5 1/4. I was right, 2 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, now we don't have a corner rounder anymore. So you'll have to pull out some of your retired corner rounders. And I'm just going to pull out, I have a corner rounder that I've had for years and years and years. So I'm going to pull that out. And wait till you see this. Wait till you see this hole punch that I have. Check this out. Check this hole punch out. My best buddy, who I've known since grade 5, can you believe it? Her husband is just an amazing guy. He knows everything and knows how to do everything. And he's a real tool guy. He's got a whole garage filled with tools and he uses them. Anyway, he knew what I was doing with paper crafts and he found this. I don't know whether he had it or he found it somewhere, but it is like a steel, I think it's made out of steel, hole punch. And I mean, when you think of our crocodile, our crocodile that makes hole punches, which is a modern thing, you always wonder, who invented it? Well, this was invented a long time ago. And it's even got this little slider so that you can position where exactly you want the hole to punch. So you unscrew this and move the slider up and down. And it makes quite a good sized hole to fit ribbon through. And I put this tape on just because of this metal. It made my hands smelly. It's all rusted in here too. It's really old. It's really funky. I love it. And it'll go through anything. So anyway, yeah, I just put this duct tape on here just to avoid the smell. Okay, so we need to figure out what our white piece is going to be in here. So we could do white. Let's just think about this. We could do white, or we could do another different piece and maybe stamp right on it. No, but I want to color the books. Yeah, I wanted to go white, didn't I? Because I want to color the books. Oh, these papers are just, oh God, they're just beautiful. I should get another pack before it's gone. All right, so if I'm going to do the white, this is 2 inches, so I know that. This is 2 inches. So we want 1 3/4 by, and it's 5 1/4, so by 5. So 1 3/4 by 5. So let me grab a piece of white paper. So 1 3/4. What did I say by 5? Okay. Now, what's fantastic about, it's too bad these retired. What's fantastic about these tags is that, you know, you can do the largest tag, say in the green color, and then you do the smaller, you know, you can layer them is what I'm trying to say. And they're just great. And they make the holes and everything. And a really nice decorative edge. All right, so I'm going to corner round. So before I glue this, and we should do some stamping, before I glue this on, I'm going to corner round all my edges, or my corners. That's why they call it a corner rounder. Okay, and then let's corner round again. Okay, now this also has, I love this, it's got a little trap door, and you can just empty out. Okay, so we've corner rounded both pieces. And let's do some stamping now. So I'm going to do the books. Yeah, perfect. So I'm going to do these in my Memento ink. I keep checking every day to see when this ink is back in stock. Every craft company, it seems, has been having a really hard time getting this ink in. Okay, and let's just stamp my little glasses on top of the books. Oh my God, they're so cute. Okay. All right, let's do some coloring. And what else did I want to do in here? I wanted to do a greeting, didn't I? So love you. It's too bad I don't have a greeting that says, oh, look at this. In this stamp set, I've got a for you, and I've got the story of us. So if you were giving this to a friend with the books, it could represent a story of us. Oh, I like that. Let's do that. Story of us. Story of us. All right, we'll do this in another color. So let me just grab another. The story of us. Okay, let's do some more. I think I'm going to do some hearts. And story of us. Now what's really cool is they used a font that is pretty typical of the fonts used on the pages of books, which is kind of cool. All right, so we want to color. So this is Daffodil Delight. So I try and pull a bit of Daffodil Delight in on every book. Just makes your coloring a little bit quicker. Let's use the light. Okay. Let's bring in the pink. You know, as I open these, I guess I haven't used them in a while, but it's spraying out alcohol. So be careful of your clothes. I don't know why it's doing that, but okay. I love these colors. I should have brought in a fourth color, but I don't have a fourth color. So let's do this in yellow again. Now I've got yellow on there. I think I need another color, but we'll make do with what I've got. I'll just use the darker green. Okay, there's your books. Story of Us. Okay, now we're going to glue this on top of this. Okay, so I'm going to use my Tombow glue again. And let's get this nicely centered. And I like to use a bone folder just to smooth out the glue. There we go. Okay, now we're ready to make our hole at the top. And you can choose a ribbon to put through. So I already have this positioned in the right spot, I think. So I'll put my hole punch there. There we go. See, that makes a really nice sized hole. And we've got, since the base is the green, I'm going to use this Petunia Pop color. So I'm going to I have to make it a little bit longer to get it through the hole and then make the knot, and then I can trim it when I'm done. Okay, so let's do that. And then let's get this through. See, I love that size hole. It's perfect. Let's pull that through and loop it through the loop and then pull it down. Okay. And then I'm going to trim these. You don't need them very long. The bookmark's going to stick out from the top of the book. So there's your bookmark. And it slips in very nicely. It's a little bit tight right now. You want to slide it in and out a couple of times. Okay, so there's your bookmark. You might want another heart at the top. I think I'll do another heart at the top. Yeah, let's do one more heart up there. Just so that it's poking through. Lovely. Yeah, see, it's sliding in better now. Just want to slide it in and out a couple of times. Okay, so at this point in time, you can decide whether you want, anything additional on here. So if you kind of look at these other cards that I made, like on this one, I did a circle here. The bookmark's on the left-hand side, but I did a circle here. I could put something right here if I wanted to. What did I do on the other one? So those all had the circle bookmarks. And then, yeah, this had the circle with the owl on it. So if you want to decorate it up a little bit more, you can. So again, I could do a circle and I could do the bookmarks again on it and put a circle in here. But I don't know. I kind of like it the way it is. The one thing I could add on here, of course, are some embellishments. So let's just pull in. These are the embellishments, the in-color embellishments. Okay, so we could add some of these on here just to give it a little extra something, something. The other thing I might do is do some Wink of Stella. So let's just add, let's pull out my take your pick tool and let's just add, whoops. We'll just add some colored embellishments on here. Come on. Okay, so add some embellishments on there. And then I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to this here. And I might do these little ones. Okay. So there is your card, your bookmark card. So I think that was a nice simple template. So thanks for watching, Sharon. If you have any questions, you can pop them in the comments. Let me just bring myself forward here just to say goodbye. So the annual catalog will be going live early May. So if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like a copy of the catalog, please let me know. And please join me Monday mornings at 10 a.m. for Mojo Monday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. for Case the Caddy. So I'm doing 3 lives a week now, including our new Fun Fold Friday. So have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and I will see you hopefully again. Bye for now.